Kanye West and actress Julia Fox have confirmed that they are now dating, and Kim Kardashian is not buying it, mainly because it was a little strange how these two went about announcing their new relationship. Julia actually wrote a 217-word story about her first 2 dates with Kanye that included a trip to New York City. Now that would be one thing, but accompanied with this story was a series of photos where the pair are basically all over each other. In the post she writes, "I met Ye in Miami on New Year's Eve, and it was an instant connection. His energy is so fun to be around. He had me and my friends laughing, dancing, and smiling all night. We decided to keep the energy going and fly back to New York City to see Slay play. Ye's flight landed at 6 and the play was at 7, and he was there on time. I was impressed. After the play, we chose to do dinner at Carbon, which is one of my favorite restaurants, obviously. At the restaurant, Ye directed an entire photo shoot for me while people dined. The whole restaurant loved it and cheered us on while it was happening. After dinner, Ye had a surprise for me. I'm still in shock. Ye had an entire hotel suite full of clothes. It was every girl's dream come true. It felt like a real Cinderella moment. I don't know how we did it or how we got all of it there in time, but I was so surprised. Like, who does things like this on a second date or any date? Everything with us has been so organic. I don't know where things are headed, but if this is any indication of the future, I'm loving the ride." And so far, her date night story has become the most read article on Interview Magazine's website. The photos from this article too are wild though, and on Interview's Instagram, they showed off snaps of the two with their heads together as they kissed, and even one where Julie was straddling Kanye in front of a clothing rack. According to the Daily Mail though, this new romance may be a little bit more complicated than it seems. Despite her describing these past few dates like a fairy tale, Prince Charming was also spotted out on a balcony with Puerto Rican pop star Audrey Nix in Miami on New Year's Day. And then less than 24 hours after taking Julia to NYC, he was also spotted spending more time with Audrey at a gated property. Following the images and story of Julia Fox and Kanye West dating, the legitimacy of their relationship was immediately called into question. It was also reported by an insider that Kim Kardashian basically sees this romance as just an attempt to make her jealous. Not only that, but she also alleged that Kanye had been documenting his many dates with his own media team, so this could all really just be for some big documentary that he's been secretly shooting about his life. Another source told The Sun, "Kim thinks it's comical Kanye went from begging her to come back to showcasing his new girl all over the city within days. She knows it's not serious and it's just typical hijinks from Kanye," adding, "Kim thinks it's another desperate attempt to make her jealous. She honestly doesn't care. She's very over him at this point, so his little game isn't working." Although the two are insisting that Fox and Ye are now a couple. According to page 6, the outlet revealed that they both just got out of their former relationships and have helped each other recover immensely. That being said, I understand why a lot of people would call this relationship into question. That insider isn't wrong. Kanye was saying Kim was still his wife and begging her to run right back to him not that long ago.
I'm so happy right now. I just came from Shy's party, and I just gotta shout out to Travis Scott for sending me the address and the time.
The drama between Kim Kardashian and Kanye West continues after Kanye accused her of not sharing the details for his daughter Chicago's 4th birthday party. However, thanks to Travis Scott sending the address and time and Kylie letting him into the house, Kanye was able to make it there just in time. Although there is a lot more to this situation than just that. Kanye went live earlier in the day and claimed that Kim and the rest of the family were refusing to give him the address to Chicago's party, which had him really shaken up and nearly on the verge of tears. In the video, he said that he hasn't been able to get a hold of Kim or any of their nannies, but then said that he spoke briefly with Tristan Thompson, who told him that he would have to ask Khloe first. He then starts going on a rant about how fathers have been kept away from the home and family unit for ages, and that even with all of his money, he has still found himself in that position. He goes on to say, "Y'all, I was just wishing my daughter a public happy birthday. I wasn't allowed to know where her party was. There's nothing legal that's saying that this is the kind of game that's being played. It's the kind of thing that really has affected my health for the longest, and I'm just not playing. I'm taking control of my narrative this year," adding, "I'm being the best father, the Ye version of a father, and I'm not finna let this happen. Chicago, happy birthday, I love you, and I'm just putting this online because I need y'all's support." Kanye was apparently supposed to be in Miami where he was set to record for his upcoming album, but said that he had shifted his schedule so that he could see his kids. After Travis Scott leaked the address to Kanye, he apparently had to get Kylie Jenner to tell the security guards to let him in. He goes on to say, "I just saw everybody. It was, Chris and Corey and Kylie. Kylie let me in right when I got to the spot because the security, stopped me once again when I got there. It's just a matter of just having a conversation, open dialogue, and it was just everyone just had a great time. I'm just really happy that I could be there for my children. I just want to thank everybody's support in this situation and and let me just calmly and legally take control of my narrative. However, here's where things get weird. Kanye was making all of this appear like he was being sabotaged, but really it was probably just more of a miscommunication. Kim Kardashian was actually shocked that Kanye would say that he was not told about the birthday party, because according to her, the pair had already discussed hosting 2 separate events for their daughter. Kanye was supposed to pick up Chicago at 4 p.m. so that the two of them could spend the rest of the day together. But instead, Kanye began ranting online that he was being blocked from coming to his daughter's birthday party. In addition to that, a lot of people online are saying that this was definitely a strategic play to the media so that he could make Travis Scott seem like a better person. Especially after Astroworld, his reputation needed some saving. One user tweeted, "Everyone is now praising Travis Scott for giving Kanye the address. It all seems to be forgotten. The devil works hard, but Kris Jenner works harder." With another adding, "Travis Scott gives Kanye the address to a party and suddenly everyone forgets all the people that died in his concert while he happily performed around it."
Don't play with me. Don't play with my children. And ain't no security gonna get in between me and my children, and you ain't finna gaslight me, and you ain't gonna run this narrative on me.
Kim Kardashian is absolutely furious with Kanye West after he decided to air their family drama for everyone to see. She remains adamant that she has never stopped Kanye from seeing his kids, but does insist that he not just walk inside of her home without permission. Kanye also appeared in a clip for a new Hollywood Unlocked interview where he further alleges that Kim's security had stopped him from entering her home. A source goes on to tell the press, "Despite the many false things he says in the interview, it's true that he was not allowed in when he showed up at the home recently, and that's only because she has set boundaries around his ability to enter the home at any time he wants after several incidents," adding, "However, security didn't stop him from seeing the kids, picking them up, or dropping them off. He just can no longer walk inside of her home without her permission. She has a right to privacy and is trying to set healthy boundaries." This isn't coming out of nowhere though. This recent action by Kim to have her security stop Kanye at the gate became necessary after there were several incidents where her family, friends, and staff were upset by his unannounced visits. She said that she wants the children to have a strong relationship with both parents, but that Kanye needs to respect the boundaries and structure that she has put in place. That way the kids can have some kind of predictability and consistency with their schedules. Most of all, she really just doesn't want this added drama and wishes that he would just keep things private. The video he put out in this recent interview really upset her. The source goes on to say, "Her goal has always been to protect the children and Kanye when they were together. She's never talked openly about their business or issues and always takes the high road. She has always been very protective of him, and she has never not let him see the kids, and he can see them whenever he wants. He chooses when he wants to see them, and he also chose not to see them over the holiday. Instead of seeing his kids over the holiday, he decided to spend New Year's Eve partying in Miami, which is also where he met up with Julia Fox." As for the recent interview, Kim said that there are no issues and that this interview was all news to her, adding that they have been co-parenting productively, and for the health of the kids, this false narrative is very hurtful for them. In the clip from the Hollywood Unlocked interview, Kanye explained further as to why he purchased the home across the street from her. 2 weeks after she filed to be declared legally single, Kanye bought a $4.5 million house across the street, and he apparently paid $421,000 more than the asking price on this new house just to make sure that nobody would outbid him. He said that his solace comes from seeing his kids, which is why he bought the house. When his mother took him from Atlanta to Chicago, he said that his father chose to not come. He chose instead to stay in Atlanta because of his career. But according to Kanye, there is nothing that would keep him from seeing his kids, even his career. Kanye also accused Kim's security of stopping him at the gate because her new boyfriend Pete Davidson was in the house at the time. Although according to another inside source, Pete has never actually been to the house. In fact, he's never even met the kids yet. However, Kanye still insists that he was stopped at the gate by security when bringing his kids back home from school. He goes on to say, "But I didn't want to argue about it, so I just chilled, took my kids to school, and then took my kids back. I'm driving, I bring them back, and North was like, I want you to come upstairs and see something." And it's like, oh, daddy can't come see something, daddy can't come inside. But that hadn't been defined. My daughter wanted me to go inside. I was like, I am the richest black man and North's father, right? And the security was able to stop me from going into the room with my daughter, and that had not been defined. Kim's divorce lawyer, Laura Wasser, quickly followed up to this claim and gave a statement to the press that said, "Mr. West being kept from the children by security or anyone else is news to us. Both parties' priority has always been the children maintaining strong bonds with each of their parents throughout this transition and beyond." Kim Kardashian is upset about Kanye's new song that basically called her a bad mother, but her new boyfriend Pete Davidson found it hilarious that Kanye was threatening him. If you didn't hear, Kanye released a new song, and boy oh boy did he have a lot to say in it. He mentions wanting to beat up Pete and calls Kim out for letting the nannies raise their kids. That Pete Davidson line though truly made the internet go crazy, but I'll also add in the lines about Kim. He says in the song, I got love for the nannies, but real family is better. The cameras watch the kids, y'all stop taking the credit. Non-custodial dad, I bought the house next door. What you think the point of really being rich for? When you give them everything, they only want more. Bougie and unruly, y'all need to do some chores. Rich kids, this ain't your mama house. Climb on your brother's shoulders, get that top ramen out. God saved me from that crash just so I could beat Pete Davidson's. And that car crash that he's referring to was the one in 2002 that left him with a broken jaw. On October 23, 2002, West was driving back to his hotel after a late night session at a recording studio in California when he fell asleep at the wheel. He ended up crashing his rented vehicle head on into another car, leaving the other driver with fractures in his legs. West, on the other hand, had a shattered jaw and nasal fractures. The rapper also claimed that he was racially profiled at the crash site, as police ran 3 or 4 alcohol tests on him before even taking him to the hospital. As for the line about Pete Davidson, an insider said, Pete thinks it's totally hilarious. Not just that, he thinks the whole tabloid drama with him, West, and Kardashian is hilarious. He loves it. At this point though, after dating Ariana Grande and many other big celebrities, Pete is pretty used to being tabloid fodder. However, even he admits that being with Kim put him on a whole new level of scrutiny. The insider adds, it's funny to him that the press wants to know his every move all of a sudden. Now if this was some other celebrity dating Kim, someone other than a comedian, I bet the response to Kanye's line would have been much different. Pete is used to being roasted, so he just shakes off Kanye's insults with no issue. However, I think Kanye was hoping that he would get more of a rise out of him, or perhaps hurt his ego and make him go crazy, thus driving a wedge between him and Kim. Unfortunately for Kanye, this actually brought Pete and Kim closer. Kanye also said that the reason he wasn't allowed into Kim's house was due to Pete being inside. However, a source close to Kim said, Pete is yet to be introduced to Kim's kids, and it's widely known that whenever he visits her in LA, he stays at a hotel in Beverly Hills where she's been spotted with him. As for the lines about Kim letting her kids be raised by nannies and cameras, she said that it was a low blow for him to start knocking her for having nannies. And a lot of her friends don't think that it was right either. A source adds, of course she has nannies. She has 4 kids. Kim is living her life. She's juggling her career, her dating life. Some people also believe that it was Pete Davidson's comments about Kanye on Saturday Night Live that put those lyrics into motion. We know where the Kim K comments are coming from, but for the Pete Davidson line, it was much more than just him dating Kim Kardashian. Back in 2018, after Kanye had appeared on SNL wearing a MAGA hat, Pete went on to the Weekend Update and gave his thoughts. He said, Kanye, I know you are like, this is the real me, I'm off the meds. Take them. There's no shame in the medicine game. I'm on them. It's great. There's nothing wrong with taking them. I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of this though, because that's all the time that we have for today. So stay classy, and I'll see you in the next one.